Nathan stares at the empty doorway, the echo of her footsteps lingering like a punch to his chest. Rain streaks the window, blurring the city lights outside. His heart pounds with disbelief, every dream feeling heavier, every hope slipping away. In that instant, he is utterly powerless, utterly alone. Nathan sits at a sunlit cafe, the warmth of morning cutting through the chill of his apartment from last night. He laughs easily with friends, a perfect smile plastered across his face, but behind the charm a storm brews. His mind races with half-formed ideas, business plans scribbled on napkins, visions of success dancing just out of reach. Yet every joke, every shared coffee feels like a performance, a mask for the emptiness gnawing at him. He glances at his phone, half expecting a message from her, a validation that never comes. His life on the surface seems full, but the truth is quieter, heavier. Every step forward is tethered to the memory of her presence, her opinions shaping his choices, her approval guiding his ambitions. Nathan wants to break free, to chase his dreams, but he hasn't yet realized that power, true power, must come from within, not from the love he thought he couldn't live without. She enters the scene like sunlight cutting through fog, vibrant, confident, full of energy that seems to make the world around her brighter. Her laughter echoes, magnetic, pulling Nathan in, tethering him to her presence in ways he can't fully understand. She notices everything, critiques softly, but sharply, her words lingering in his mind long after they're spoken. Nathan's love for her is a fire and a chain. Every smile she gives fuels his ambition, every approving glance a rush of purpose. Yet her impatience gnaws at him, each sigh or raised eyebrow planting seeds of self-doubt that grow faster than he can uproot them. He wants to impress her, to prove he's worthy of her time and belief, yet the harder he tries, the more fragile he feels. Their connection is intoxicating. Moments of laughter and shared dreams make him believe he can conquer the world. But beneath the glow there's a suffocating tension, a silent pressure that shadows every choice he makes, every plan he dares to dream. Love, in its brilliance, has become both his inspiration and his invisible cage. Nathan sits in a sleek, glass-walled office, his hands trembling slightly as he unfolds yet another business proposal. The investor's laughter hits him like a punch, sharp, cold, unrelenting. Each chuckle, each skeptical glance seeps into his chest, making the walls of possibility feel impossibly high. He had imagined their eyes lighting up, their nods of approval fueling his ambition. Instead, he is met with doubt, dismissal, the subtle cruelty of people who don't yet see what he sees. At home, the tension mirrors the world outside. His girlfriend paces, impatience written across her face. Her frustration spills over, sharp words cutting through the quiet apartment. Arguments flare, some about money, some about effort, some about him. Nathan feels caught between two worlds, the scorn of strangers who don't believe, and the cold disappointment of the one he hoped would. Every rejection chips away at his confidence, each laugh from investors, every sigh from her, a weight pressing on his chest. The fire of ambition burns, but it flickers under the pressure, threatening to dim. Nathan begins to realize that if he's going to rise, he must first survive the storm both outside and inside his own home. Night drapes over the city, rain tapping lightly against the window, blurring the neon glow outside. Nathan sits on the edge of his bed, laptop open, eyes fixed on stories of self-made billionaires, entrepreneurs who clawed their way from nothing. Each success flashes like a mirror, reflecting his own stalled dreams and gnawing insecurities. His hands tremble, fingers hovering over the keyboard, but he can't type, can't act, only watch, trapped. Beside him, she sleeps, serene and unaware, her chest rising and falling in gentle rhythm. Nathan's heart aches with invisibility. Each quiet breath she takes a reminder of the life moving on without him. The apartment feels suffocating, walls closing in, a cage built from longing, disappointment, and endless questions. What if he fails? What if he's not enough? What if she was right to doubt him? Every shadow, every flicker of light mirrors his isolation. Yet beneath the weight, a quiet ember flickers, a whisper of determination. fragile but real. Perhaps this loneliness, this powerless ache, is the fuel he never realized he needed. A storm rages outside, but somewhere deep inside, Nathan senses the first spark of his rise. Nathan nurses a bitter espresso in a crowded coffee shop, the hum of conversation washing over him like white noise. He barely listens until a sharp, animated discussion at the next table cuts through the blur. Two entrepreneurs debating a bold business model, their words precise, fearless, alive. Something clicks deep inside him. For the first time, Nathan sees a path that doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. The power he's been chasing, the validation he's been craving from her, from investors, from the world. It can't come from them. It can only come from him. He remembers the hollow apartment, the rain, the echo of her footsteps, all the moments when he felt powerless. Now those memories ignite a fire instead of despair. Her leaving, once a wound, becomes a catalyst, a quiet push that finally shakes him awake. Nathan sketches the first rough notes of a plan, heart pounding, realizing that his rise begins not with love, but with himself. Nathan's apartment is silent, except for the tapping of keys and the scratch of pen on paper. Midnight stretches into the early hours, shadows curling around him as he sketches business plans on crumpled notebooks, watches tutorials online, and experiments with ideas that once seemed too daring. The emptiness of the space, once suffocating, now pulses with energy. Every quiet corner a reminder that he has no one to lean on but himself. Her absence lingers like a ghost in the room. Flashes of her leaving, suitcase in hand, strike him like lightning, stirring a mix of grief and determination. Every memory of rejection, every sigh she once gave, becomes fuel instead of weight. Nathan pushes past exhaustion, past the ache in his shoulders, past the self-doubt that once froze him. With each late-night session, he feels himself changing. The powerless young man who once waited for permission or approval begins to emerge. As someone who acts, someone who fights, someone who refuses to let the past define him. The journey has started, small, sleepless, uncertain, but wholly his own. Nathan leans over his laptop, refreshing his email for the 100th time, heart thudding with a mix of anxiety and hope. Then it comes, his first client. The message is simple, but to Nathan it feels monumental. A small victory, yes, but a crack in the wall of doubt that has haunted him for so long. He allows himself a fleeting smile, the first genuine one, in weeks before diving back into work with renewed energy. Recognition comes slowly, almost quietly. A minor mention in a blog, a positive comment from an early supporter, little sparks that light the path forward. Each one whispers that his efforts are not in vain, that success is possible if he keeps pushing. And then, memories of her disbelief flicker in his mind, her sighs, her doubts, the unspoken judgment when he shared his ambitions. Instead of crushing him, they now serve as fuel. Every smirk she once gave, every doubtful glance, becomes motivation, a reminder of the power he is building alone. Nathan feels a quiet pride rising, a steady pulse of confidence. The powerless man she left behind is beginning to taste what it feels like to stand on his own. Nathan's apartment has grown quieter still. The laughter of friends, once a comfort, fades as they drift away, unable to keep pace with his relentless grind. Invitations to dinners, nights out, casual hangouts, all vanish, leaving him with only the hum of his laptop and the scratch of pen on paper. His social life collapses, and with it the familiar safety nets of distraction and comfort. Exhaustion sits heavy in his shoulders, his eyes rimmed with dark circles, yet he pushes on. Pain and self-doubt gnaw at him, whispers that he will never succeed, that he is chasing a dream too big, too fragile. Nathan endures it all silently, refusing to let anyone see the cracks. Each late-night session is a rebellion, a refusal to remain the powerless man she left behind. Even in isolation, the apartment is alive with his struggle. Sticky notes plaster, walls, spreadsheets flicker on screens, and the quiet tapping of keys becomes a rhythm of determination. He sacrifices comfort, relationships, and rest, knowing every choice weighs on him. But with every tired sigh, every aching muscle, Nathan builds something invisible yet unstoppable, a foundation of power forged in solitude, persistence, and relentless self-belief. Momentum hums through Nathan's venture. The apartment buzzes. With energy. Screens glow, spreadsheets scroll, sticky notes cover every wall. Proof of nights spent alone, building something from nothing. Clients respond, emails ping, small victories stack up. Hope feels real. Then, without warning, his trusted business partner betrays him. Contracts vanish, funds are diverted, and the venture teeters on collapse. Papers scatter across the desk, his hands shake, and for a moment, time freezes. The chaos hits harder than any failure he's known. Shock mixes with disbelief, anger, and a raw sense of betrayal. But in that storm, clarity strikes. All the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the lonely hours of grinding, they were preparation. Power is not about opportunity or talent alone. It is resilience in the face of treachery. Nathan straightens his shoulders, takes a steadying breath, and locks eyes on the challenge. The world has tested him, and now more than ever he is ready to rise. Nathan slumps in the center of an empty office, fluorescent lights casting harsh shadows across scattered documents and empty coffee cups. The silence is deafening, broken only by the occasional hum of a faulty printer. Every paper, every failed deal, presses down on him like a weight he cannot lift. The betrayal of his partner, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, they converge into a crushing sense of failure. Yet amid the wreckage, something stirs. Memories of her leaving, the click of the door, the echo of her footsteps, no longer wound him, they ignite him. Each recollection fuels a quiet fire, a reminder of why surrendering is not an option. Nathan's fists clench, his jaw tightens and his eyes harden. The powerless man she left behind is gone. In his place stands someone broken but unbowed, someone who understands that the climb to power begins not after success, but after surviving the deepest, loneliest valleys. Nathan's office is alive with motion. The hum of computers, the rapid ping of incoming emails, and the chatter of a growing team fill the space he once occupied alone. Sunlight streams through the floor-to-ceiling windows, glinting off polished desks and reflecting off the proud faces of employees who now believe in him as fiercely as he believes in himself. Then the moment arrives. A major deal, months in the making, is finalized. Nathan watches the confirmation on his screen, heart pounding, a mixture of disbelief, relief, and triumph flooding through him. Cameras capture the energy, the office buzzing with excitement, phones ringing with congratulations, headlines appearing online, praising his vision, his determination, and his relentless pursuit of excellence. Every setback, every betrayal, every sleepless night has led to this. The powerless man she once left behind has transformed. His shoulders are steady, his gaze sharp, his confidence unshakable. The fire that began with heartbreak, the loneliness that fueled relentless effort, has forged Nathan into a force unstoppable. Standing amidst the thriving team, he allows himself a small, victorious smile. The empire he built is not just financial, it is the triumph of resilience, vision, and unwavering self-belief. The world finally sees Nathan for what he truly is: unstoppable. Nathan steps into the marble lobby of a towering skyscraper, the polished floors reflecting the strength in his stride. His tailored suit fits like armor, each movement deliberate, controlled. Light streams through the glass walls, illuminating a man transformed, calm, focused, and entirely in command of his destiny. The office around him hums with the energy of a thriving company. But Nathan walks through it like a silent storm, every step measured, every glance deliberate. The woman who once left him is no longer a shadow haunting his mind. She exists only in memory now, a symbol of the past that propelled him forward. Her absence, once a wound, became the spark that ignited his rise. Nathan doesn't seek approval or validation from anyone. His power is no longer external. It is earned intrinsic, a product of every sleepless night, every sacrifice, every betrayal he endured and overcame. As he passes through the lobby, assistants and employees glance up with respect, a subtle acknowledgement of the journey that brought him here. Nathan allows himself a quiet smile, not of arrogance but of satisfaction. He has mastered not just business, but himself. The powerless young man she left behind is gone. In his place stands a man who commands his future. Nathan's journey is a testament to one undeniable truth. Heartbreak can either destroy you or become the fuel that propels you higher than you ever imagined. The pain of loss, the sting of betrayal, and the emptiness of isolation were not the end of his story. They were the forge in which his strength was tempered. Every sleepless night, every sacrifice, every moment of doubt became bricks in the foundation of his empire. The woman who left, the partners who betrayed, the moments of failure, all became catalysts, not obstacles. Nathan's rise proves that the power to change your life does not come from validation, approval, or luck. It comes from within. It comes from refusing to give up when the world seems determined to break you. Now imagine what your struggles could do if you harness them the same way. The fire you carry, the challenges you face, the heartbreaks that feel unbearable. They can all become your fuel. Your rise is waiting. Your power is waiting. Subscribe, because it's time to claim the strength that has always been yours.